Hey guys, just making a quick educational video for you guys today, and it's going to be on the 4 candlestick patterns that every trader should know. So if you like our videos, give us a like and subscribe. If you get something out of this, please share it with your friends to help us grow the channel. So let's get into it. So the first candlestick pattern that I'm going to show you guys is the pin reversal candle. Now, this is one of my favorite candlestick patterns to trade, and I think every single trader needs to know this because it's a great setup and a great entry, and it really gives a lot of profitable trades. So what we're looking for is a candlestick, right, that has a square body like this and a long tail. And what that basically shows us is that there's a whole heap of short traders or traders that are offside stuck within this wick, and when it starts to reverse, they have to puke their bag or puke their trade, and it pushes the trade in the direction that we're trading in. So what we're doing with trades like this, we're trading against trapped funds. And we can see that what happens a lot of the time is we will get a pin candle like this, and it will actually the wick will actually end up forming the very bottom of the range before a reversal. This is another good example here. We had the big pin candle with a long wick below, and we end up heading up after it swept the lows. Now, the other trick for this to make it a little bit more profitable for trading these is you want to make sure that they're at the bottom of the ranges. So ones that are like this aren't as good because they're in the middle, or ones like this because they're sort of in the middle of the range, right? We want to see them sort of sticking to the bottoms of the range, and it's even better if the wick actually breaks below a previous range low, and that's going to basically tell us that there's going to be a lot more traders stuck below that level. And we can see that these pin reversal candles play out consistently over time, right? And we usually see them happen at the bottom of a range before we get a really nice reversal off it. So here's just some examples on the 1 hour, right? And then we have a whole heap on the 4 hour as well, right? So it's got one more, I think, all the way. Oh no, that's on the 4 hour. This is the one I want. Right, so here's another example, pin at the bottom, so we're moving down and then the pin gets put in and then price reverses in the other direction. Right, there's also another really big one at the bottom that we had, which was a good indication that we had actually finished bottoming on that massive sell-off that we had 13th of March, right? There's a couple of good ones on the inverse head and shoulders that we had at the end of last year, right? Nice pin candle right at the bottom, and then we go into a reversal. There's another one here, and that was actually this price movement here was actually the very bottom before that really nice 60-70% move up that we had at the start of 2020. So yeah, that's pretty much it for pin reversals, right? That's the first one. Here's a little screenshot example. Now, the second one that I want to talk to you guys about is engulfings. Now, we have bullish and we also have bearish engulfings, and they're both just as important as the other. And we can see here, this is a really good example. So a bullish engulfing is when we have a red candle that goes down, we have the close at the bottom, and then the green candle next to it, the buying candle, will be larger than the candle next to it, and then it will leave as an engulfing candle, right? So we can see in an uptrend, we have a lot of these engulfing candles because the buyers are stronger than the sellers. So we have a sell down here, engulfing straight away. Sell down here, engulfing straight away, right? And then we even have a morning star reversal on this one here in the uptrend, which is the one we're going to discuss next. So we give you examples there, and then in the downtrend we have the bearish engulfings, right? So we have the green candle pushing up, and then we have the red candle pushing down and closing below where the green candle opened. And this tells us that the sellers are stronger than the buyers, right? And gives us an indication that momentum is more heading to the downside. So bearish engulfings here on the daily, right? Followed by a shooting star reversal. And when we're in the uptrend, we have bullish engulfings followed by a morning star reversal, right? So the next one we're going to talk about is the morning star or the shooting star reversals, right? And this is what they sort of look like. So we'll get the chart back open. Right, this is our morning star reversal. So we'll start off on the left-hand side. This is a really nice one here. So what we're looking for is a big red candle going down, which is indicating bearish momentum. Then we have, it can either be a pin candle or just any type of doji type candle, right? Sometimes the wick goes to the upside, sometimes the wick goes to the downside. And then the next candle needs to close 50% of the way up on the bearish candle. So you can either do it by eyesight, right, which is going to be about there, or you can get the Fibonacci tool out and use that, right? You can fib from the top to the bottom and it will give you the 50 level. Almost nailed it, right? And you can use that as well to tell you. But for the actual candlestick pattern to play out, the green candle needs to close 50% of the way up of the red candle's down movement. Right, here's an example of the opposite of that, which is a shooting star reversal. Now, this one has a nice move up, right? A lot of the time, a big wick is left on top like this, right? Doesn't invalidate the pattern at all. Actually, sort of tells us a little bit more information that it's a bit stronger, right? Then we have what could be a pin candle, right? But this looks like the reverse of what we would usually get, right? And that's the tail is to the downside. A lot of time we usually get a tail to the upside, telling us seller exhaustion, but this is still a shooting star reversal, the same as we can have on a morning star. We can also have the tail pointing to the upside and not the downside, right? So there's been a sell-off and then a retrace, and then the sell-off, the big sell-off that actually succeeds happens in the next candle, right? So that's a shooting star reversal there, right? And then we have morning star reversal here. So this is the same. The tail actually moves to the upside, and then we have the 50% close and then continuation after that, right? Here's another example of a morning star reversal, right? So typically we want to be playing the trend and we want to be looking for morning star reversals, because usually that'll be giving us a good indication that they're actually putting in the bottom in an uptrend, right? So we want to be grabbing the pins and the morning stars in the uptrend, and in the downtrend we want to be getting the shooting stars, right? Because you can trade the shooting stars, like there's one just here, right? There's a shooting star just here, but it's not going anywhere because we're actually in an uptrend, right? When you're in an uptrend, a shooting star isn't going to give you that much of a strong pullback, because we're in a, the higher time frame is an uptrend here, so you're almost trading against the trend with that. So really good for continuation patterns, these as well, but I wouldn't expect just because there's a shooting star reversal there that it's going to completely reverse the high time frame trend, right? So it's important to understand that, but sometimes they can actually be a good indication and they can add a little bit of extra confluence, right? Here's another example of a shooting star reversal, right? Nice shooting star, and just because it's just put in there doesn't mean we're going to break down all the way down to here, because there's other things that are in play. We had the bullish divergence, then the higher time frame play was this falling wedge, right? So that overrides the shooting star, and it's also in an uptrend as well, right? Here's another shooting star example just there. Right, so they play out quite consistently, and basically with the shooting stars, obviously we're looking for the red candle to be 50% of the way of the green candle. All right, so the next candle we're going to look at, the candlestick pattern, is the 3-bar continuation pattern. Now don't trade these as much as the other ones. They play out a lot more consistently, but what we're looking for here is basically an uptrend followed by 3 candles down, back into an engulfing candle after the third candle down. And this obviously works in the other direction as well, where you have 3 candles, you have a downtrend followed by 3 green candles up, followed by an engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle to the downside, right? So this is a perfect bullish setup and gives us another indication that we're still in an uptrend moving up. These don't happen and play out as much as the other setups that I've just showed you. They play out, you just don't see them pop up as much, but it's an important one to know and understand. Things like the pin reversals, engulfings, and the shooting stars happen and play out all the time on the chart. So it's a really important one to know and to look for. And they don't just play out only on Bitcoin as well, because some people might be just saying, oh, you're only showing Bitcoin charts. Here's an example of the gold chart. Right, here is a nice pin candle here. Here's a nice bullish engulfing candle set up here. And obviously price continues to the upside. This is also, even though there's a pin there, this is also a Morningstar reversal, right? And a lot of time you actually will get a Morningstar reversal that will play off a you'll get a Morningstar reversal that actually play off a pin candle, right? So a lot of the time you can see the pin come in and then it reverses off that, right? Sometimes you get the pin, it will just be at the bottom of a range and it'll go sideways and you won't get the Morningstar. But if you do get the Morningstar, it just means a little bit more aggressive. Here's a nice bullish engulfing. Right, here's another pin candle, and see, like, when you get a nice matchup, like this is a bullish divergence, which you can go and look at our last video, the last educational video that we did, which explained bullish engulfings and how to, bullish divergences and how to trade those. So you have a pin candle, which lines up with a bullish divergence, and we get a really nice reversal off that. And this ends up being a 92-point swing on gold, which if you're trading gold, that's a really nice swing. Here's some more setups, nice pin candle there. I mean, that's really a doji. This is nice pin candle again, nice pin candle, which ends up playing out as a very bullish version of a Morningstar. Here's another Morningstar as well with a nice pin at the bottom. Right, here's a shooting star here after we put in the top. Right, so these play out consistently all the time. Here's another one, sweeping the range lows, and then you get the reversal from there. And the price never comes back to re-sweep the range low of where the wick closed. So when you sweep the range lows like this, usually the wicks get defended if price is going to continue and reverse up in that direction. So if this got taken out, that's a really good spot to have my stop loss, because if that gets taken out, price is probably going to most likely roll over. So that's pretty much it, guys. Wanted to keep it short and sharp, so it's digestible and not too confusing. So just remember to look for those pin candles, and they're usually great setups because they're quite risk defined. It's a really obvious place to put your stop, but don't put it too close so you get hunted by the next wick, because sometimes those wicks will get taken out. And just be careful of that. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you like this video, please share it with your friends that are also traders. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Give us a like and subscribe, and we'll chat to you guys soon.